Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are on episode 5 and we are going to do a little bit more work on fractions. We're going to be talking about two concepts that can kind of be tied into each other, and those are mixed numbers and improper fractions. Improper means it's not correct, but it can be done. So we're going to be talking about those two things today. Mixed numbers and improper fractions. That is the topic of the day. These are not glasses, so we're not doing that. What we are thinking about for today is generally amounts that are greater than one whole thing. A lot of times in fractions, pizzas get glorified. It's an easy way to think of it. Today we're going to focus on another circular thing that can be devoured, which is pi. So, if we had a pie that was split into 4 parts, split this into 4 parts, split this into 4 parts. If I'm very hungry and I eat this entire pie, and I have one more piece of another pie, what I have eaten is one entire pie, and I have eaten 1/4 of this pie. So we can refer to that in two different ways. We can refer to it as one whole pie and 1/4 of a pie, or I can refer to it in terms of fourths. So I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have one more. So I can say 1 1/4, or we can also call it 5/4. So 1 1/4 would be the mixed number, because it's mixed with a whole number and a fraction, and 5/4 would be the improper fraction, and you can recognize an improper fraction because the numerator, the top number, is larger than the denominator, the bottom number. We have 3 new pies here, and we are going to split these pies into thirds. When you're splitting something with a circle into thirds, I always like to think of finding the midpoint, the center. We draw a line down, and then you kind of split it in that way. The kids like to think of it as making a peace sign. So I've made my pie into 3 roughly equal parts, and I'm going to eat this entire pie, I'm going to eat that entire pie, and I'm going to eat a portion of our third pie. So if I eat all of that, and all of that, that would be one whole. If I eat all of this, and all of this, that would be a second whole. And if I eat that portion and this portion, I would have eaten 2/3 of this pie. So the way we can refer to it with a mixed number would be 1 whole plus 1 whole would be 2 whole pies, and then I would have 2/3 of the remaining pie. So you would call it 2 2/3. Now we can also refer to it as an improper fraction by counting all of the thirds. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can say 2 2/3, or we can refer to it as 8/3. Now there is a little strategy you can use when you go between these. If you use multiplication, I can multiply 3 times 2. So I multiply the denominator by the whole number. 3 times 2 is 6. And I add the numerator to get to 8/3. And you can kind of go backwards by using division, but it gets a little more complicated. It's a little easier to go from the mixed number to the improper fraction if you remember that strategy of multiplying and then adding. Okay, that's all we have for today, everyone. I'm going to leave you with this little fraction cartoon about mixed numbers and improper fractions. Take a look at it and see if you understand the fractional humor in it. Take care, everybody. See you next time.